really big fan of Mr. Chip's chicken and rice bowls. I've featured those before, and not to do him out of a job or anything, but I was curious about a few elements of it. One is how they make the rice so nice, and the other one was there's like this sort of kebab shop white sauce that you can get, and you know, I found a tutorial on how to do that, so I'm going to try that recipe this evening because I'm hungry. I don't have any chicken to put on it, but I'm sure I'll think of something else. So just heating up this ghee. So now the recipe calls for rice, and I've got 2 cups of rice here, and it told me wash it but don't soak it. So I've given this a really good wash, and we're going to fry it in the ghee, which feels kind of weird to me because I've never ever fried uncooked rice before. So I'll just drain off some more of that water. Oil and water, well, fat and water don't tend to go terribly well together, but let's give it a go. Oh, it just feels really, really weird putting raw rice in a frying pan. I don't know. Season it with some salt, just normal salt. Throw in some garlic powder. It also calls for onion powder, but I don't have any of that. And turmeric, or poor man's saffron. You better believe I can't afford real saffron. This is a very, very forgiving non-stick pan. And now I'm adding 2 cups of, oh, I don't know if you can hear me over this. So I've just added 2 cups of chicken stock for every 1 cup of rice. So there are 2 cups of rice, so I've added 4 cups of chicken stock. And it's just really cheap Knorr bouillon cubes, so nothing fancy at all. But you could make the stock yourself, boil up some chicken bones. I'm sure that will be amazing. The tutorial I watched said that chicken broth was non-negotiable, but I'm sure that if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, I'm sure you could get away with vegetable stock. Very little is completely non-negotiable with cooking. Now the recipe tells me that I can add cardamom, cinnamon and bay leaves. I think what it means is cardamom pods, cinnamon sticks and bay leaves. I don't have those fresh ingredients or those, you know, whole spices. I've only got powder. And I think the best time to add the best time to add powder was before we added the stock, but it's too late now. So I'm just going to add a little bit of both of these. If you wanted to do this properly, you could absolutely find cardamom pods and cinnamon sticks at either Patel's or Sharma's. Both of those shops have those in abundance, so it is possible to do it in Kigali. But as with most of my cooking, I am just making the best of a bad situation. Okay, let's leave that to simmer. Might just turn it down a slight minute. Okay, that's looking really good. Another thing I forgot to mention is that the recipe was extremely explicit that it needed to be basmati rice, which makes sense because it's a nice fragrant rice. Now it says to cover it and leave it to steam for 15 minutes. So turn off the heat. I just realised when I bought this pan, I bought it from T2000 and it came with a little instruction book that says it's supposed to have a lid, but they didn't give me a lid. And when I contacted them, they said that it didn't have one, but it's got a rim around the top here where a lid should sit. And all of the other pots I've bought by this manufacturer had a lid. So I don't know why T2000 sold this one without one. But it was 25,000 for the pan and it's fantastic. So I guess I forgive them. But I need to find a better pan lid or something. This isn't very, that's not very good. There we go. I found a very old pot without a handle and it fits a lot tighter, so that's better for steaming. Usually I use that as a tray inside the bucket oven to put the potatoes on, or quiche or whatever I'm baking. It seems to make quite a good pan lid. So the second part of this experiment is the kebab white sauce. Now, there weren't really any amounts on this, but it said yogurt, so I've got some Massaka plain yogurt, a dollop of mayo. This already feels wrong. I'm really not sure about mixing yogurt and mayo together, but what the hell. Oh, this is so messy. Then, legitimately, it says sugar, but I don't have, like, anything except for granulated sugar. I just feel like that's going to make it crunchy. I feel like honey would have been a better idea. Then my absolute favourite ingredient of all, black pepper. I have no idea how to get this in the jar instead of on the table. Plenty of black pepper. It feels like I'm making a witch's potion. I have newt tongue of frog. A dash of white vinegar. That might be too much. The secret magical ingredient is supposed to be dill, but I searched everywhere and I cannot find it. So I think dill is really, really required for this, but if you know where I can find it, let me know. Couldn't find it. More garlic powder, because apparently you can never have enough of it. Pinch of salt. And a little squeeze of lemon. Exotic international lemons, because the ones with the yellow will taste better. Local lemons here are green, and they've got a very, very distinctive taste that tends to take over everything you put it in. So if you can get the yellow lemons, go with yellow lemons. And that is supposed to be chicken shop white sauce. Let's try it. Yeah, so I just have this horrible feeling that this isn't going to work without dill. But, you know, there are so many things you just can't get here that sometimes you just have to make do. So let's give it a go. Ooh. Oh my goodness. That's really interesting. It's almost as it should be. I put too much sugar in there, way too much sugar in there, and not enough vinegar. Just a tiny splash more vinegar. Yeah, I should have used half the amount of sugar. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, I could see that going really well across the rice. That is nice. Okay, that's good. Let's go check on the rice. Okay. That looks fantastic. Oh no, I've got white sauce all over my spoon. Damn. Hold on a minute, let me clean that. For my British viewers, I feel like Dylan Moran in Black Books when he kind of tried to turn the bookshop into a restaurant and was making all these crazy recipes. So hurry up and chop the soup. I feel like it's that kind of crazy right now. Actually, if you're not a British viewer, go and watch Black Books with Dylan Moran, because it's one of the funniest British comedies that was ever made. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. All right, so we need a little bit of rice. I think the ghee is the secret ingredients here. Now, what am I going to put with that? Okay, so here we've got the rice, salad, which is cucumber, tomato and a bit of onion. I decided to go with some curry caramelized aubergine, and this is just a few little pickles that I had. And ideally you would serve this with chicken, because it would be a chicken bowl. So the only thing missing is the white sauce, which I can't get out of the jar. Let's give it a drizzle. I really like the white sauce, so I'm going to put some more on. Okay, imagine that's like a work of art. It does look a bit like a pollock right now. Let's just go and eat it. Let's go and eat it. All right, so that does look rather appetizing. The thing that I am so curious about is the rice. Like I say, I've never fried it in ghee before cooking it. Actually, let me try some before I try the white sauce. There we go. Okay. Okay. That is chicken shop rice. That is how you do it. That is how you do it. And don't be afraid to season, because it seems to absorb all of the flavour. I think it would be quite hard to over season it. Yeah. Mixing it with the white sauce. The key to the white sauce. The key to the white sauce, don't be afraid of the garlic powder. Add a ton of that. Go easy on the sugar. And even though I put extra white vinegar in there, I still can't taste it, so that's fine. It's not too vinegary. It's sweet. It's good. If you had dill, it would be amazing. If I ever find dill, I will include it. Right, let's try the, so the aubergines, I stirred it in fish masala and then caramelized it with honey. Why not? I only had a tiny bit of very old aubergine left, so, you know, I thought I'd try it and use it up. Oh wow. And of course the salad is just brilliant. That would be a chicken shop chicken bowl, or chicken and rice, if there was only chicken in it, but there isn't. But the aubergine is good, the rice is good, the white sauce is fantastic. I'm happy, and my curiosity now is satisfied, and I feel like that is how I'm going to probably cook rice from now on. I just throw it in the rice cooker, and that makes really good fluffy white rice every single time. But there is something very, very nice about frying it with the ghee first. It makes a difference. Probably a very unhealthy difference, but a difference, so. Okay guys, I decided if I was going to do it, I should probably do it proper. So reheated the rice. The chicken is done to perfection. I thought it might be a bit dry, but it's absolutely fall off the bone juicy. And we've got a salad. And again, plenty of the white sauce. All right, guys, round two. Let's get some chicken, and some rice, and some sauce. That is really good. Is it as good as Mr. Chips? I'm gonna say not yet, because again, too much sugar in the white sauce, and also there's nothing quite as nice as food that somebody else has made for you. You know, it's really nice. And also he puts little bits of pita bread around it as well. So I would still say that Mr. Chips is a little bit better, but I'm learning. This is my first attempt. That chicken is cooked to perfection. So yeah, I'm really glad that I now know how to make all of this. It's definitely changed my opinion on how to cook rice, like in a big way. I think cooking rice this way it's really nice. It feels like dirty rice. It feels like, you know, it's got a bit of added sort of body to it with the ghee and the fat. So, you know, if you want to be healthy, then definitely white fluffy rice in the rice cooker. But if you're feeling a little bit kind of cheat day, then definitely give this a go.